Valorant's economy. What is it? How does it work? What should you buy and when? Those are pretty good questions. Valorant's economy might seem intimidating at first, but at the end of this video, you'll have a PhD in it, or maybe just an online certificate. Either way, if you're in need of a breakdown on how the money works in this game, congrats on clicking on the right video. Your prize? Knowledge. And if you click on that like and or subscribe button, you'll get a heartfelt thank you. Is that a good enough bonus prize? I'll let you decide. All right, with that out of the way, I'm chill and let's get into it. The Valorant economy is a credit-based system that makes up how players purchase weapons, abilities, and shields from the buy menu. At the beginning of each game, everyone starts with 800 credits to buy some combination of sidearms, abilities, and shields. A disproportionate amount of credits are given to each team depending on whether they won or lost a round. Winners get 3,000, and losers receive either 1,900, 2,400, or 2,900, which correlates to 1, 2, and 3 or more losses in a row. The only exception is when you lose a round but don't die, which nets you 1,000 credits that you'll see in the bottom right as save round loss. This happens if an attacker survives a round without planting the spike, or a defender is still alive after the spike detonates. Also, the max amount of credits you can get is 9,000. If you are approaching or hit 9,000, you should offer to buy a teammate even if they have enough credits. This ensures that you aren't getting 0 credits for winning a round and evens out the economy for your team. You get 200 credits per kill per round and 300 credits for each attacker for planting the spike even if the round finishes while planting. On attack, always plant at the end of the round, even if the defenders are all dead. In overtime rounds, each team gets 5,000 credits per player. This guarantees everyone can buy heavy shields, phantom or vandal, and all abilities. Here's a quick look at all the credit sources on screen. You can access this hidden menu by hovering over the exclamation point in the top right of the buy menu. Another circumstance that can change how many credits you get is when a player leaves your game. You'll spawn each round with an ult orb that anyone can pick up, free light shields on the first round of attack or defense, and you'll get extra credits depending on how many players leave your team. Don't worry about this too much because the game is most likely lost unless your teammate returns. Do your best with what you have in these scenarios, or FFing is always an option. When you first open up the buy menu, you might be overwhelmed with all the stuff and things on the screen. But don't worry, it's pretty straightforward. Almost as straightforward as hitting the like button. Very easy to do and supports your favorite Valorant YouTube channel. At the top left of the menu, you'll find helpful information including your character, amount of shields, weapon, credits, and the minimum number of credits you'll receive next round. I'll explain minimum next round credits in a bit because it ties into the different types of buying. Now you'll see 3 rectangles below that, and when clicked, make your agent call out to the team. You can use these to ask your team to buy or save credits or let them know you have extra credits for your teammates to use. I'll talk a little more about saving and requesting in a bit. The main portion of the buy menu makes up the weapons, shield, and your agent's abilities. Left clicking on these items, if you have the credits, will purchase the weapon. If you want to exchange your gun for something else, you can right click on the gun you bought to sell it back. If there's a gun you want someone to buy for you, right click on it. You can't request someone to buy your abilities or shields though. So there are different types of buys that players should know to keep a healthy team economy. Try to think of your team's economy as a pool of credits as opposed to individual credits. The 4 main types of buy rounds include full buy, save or sometimes called eco rounds, half or sometimes called light buys, and force buys. The first type is called a full buy. Think of this as your home base or standard buy. This is the buy you're attempting to do as often as possible. In this scenario, you and your team should all get the most expensive guns, heavy shields, and most or all of your abilities. Here are the weapons you'll typically use in a full buy. The most common weapons to buy here are the Phantom or the Vandal. Think of these two as your default buy weapons. So I mentioned minimum credits next round before, and here's how it ties into full buying. This number shows that if you lose this upcoming round with no kills and no spike plant, that's how much you'll get. They get this number by subtracting the credits you'll receive if you lose this round from anything you buy. You should use this to determine what you can buy next round. If you're full buying as Sage, this number should be at minimum 4,700. If you're Astra, 4,500. If you're Jet and want to buy an op next round, you'll need 6,400, all abilities included. If you're on a 3 or more loss streak and you full buy with no credits left, your minimum next round will be 2,900. Make sense? Great. The next type is a save or eco round. This round happens when you're low on credits, usually after a loss, and then you save these credits to ensure you have enough for a full buy next round. This is an important time to look at your minimum number of credits for next round so you don't overbuy. Here are some of the weapons you'll typically use in a save round. You can choose to buy an ability or sidearm here, but make sure you have enough for that sweet full buy. In the same vein as an eco round, we have a bonus round. Bonusing only happens third round if one team wins the first two. Your second round buy should be better than your enemy's buy since you received more money for winning. If you win the second round and stay alive, you can hold onto your guns for that third round. This is a strategy used for building up your economy by going into round 3 with a slight disadvantage. Assuming some or all of your team survives, you will have weapons like the Stinger, Spectre, and Marshall, while your enemy will be on a full buy. These weapons can still compete with full buy weapons like the Phantom and Vandal, so if you kill an enemy, try to pick up their gun. The idea is to disrupt their economy by getting some picks and taking weapons out of their hands, which can be disastrous for their economy next round. By bonusing third round, you are also building up your own economy so that you can full buy the next couple rounds. Next is called a half or light buy. A half or light buy is similar to a save round, except you are buying with the intent on full buying next round. After a few rounds, let's say you built up enough credits to full buy comfortably, but lose the round. You and your team might not have enough to full buy together, so you buy until your minimum next round is at or up until its limit. Here you could see things like a heavy shield and Spectre, or light shield and Bulldog with some abilities mixed in, for example. Finally, we have force buy. A force buy is when you exhaust all credits by buying the best items you can with the credits that you have. This either happens following a lost round or at the last round of half when your credits will reset anyway. Let's say you're at the end of the game and you're losing 12-8. In this situation, up until the overtime round, you should be force buy. You will lose the game no matter what if the enemy team wins, so you should always force in this situation. Some people choose to force buy second round after losing the pistol round, but this can be risky since another loss will force you to save round 3 and then full buy round 4. I would only force after losing pistol round if your whole team is on board. Anti-eco is similar to a force buy and happens after the first round. This means that you are using all or most of the credits you received from winning first round to gain an advantage over your opponent. These buys will usually consist of light or heavy shield with a weapon in the mid tier like a Spectre, Judge, Marshall, Stinger, or Ares. If you gained enough credits by getting kills or a spike plant round 1, you may have enough to buy a Phantom or Vandal with light shield. Anti-eco is very common and the standard for second round after a win. Valorant is a team game, which means you are but a cog in the ranked machine. If you solo queue, you'll be put with 4 other cogs. Some of these cogs have overinflated egos, some forget they have a microphone, and some tell you to go f yourself and buy your own gun, you broke. Don't be that last guy. He's perpetually stuck in silver and needs therapy. I say these things because I've been there and you have too. That aside, when should you buy your teammates and when should you request a gun? You should request in 2 scenarios. 1, you don't have enough credits to full buy and the rest of your team did. And 2, you have enough to full buy, but you won't have credits left over for the following round if you die. Same thing goes for buying your teammates. The goal is for your whole team to have the same buy. If someone requests, the player on the team with the most credits should buy them even if they can't afford a full buy next round. Why should you do this? Having an even eco across the board ensures that you're giving your team the best chance of winning each round. On pistol round, you all buy pistols. On full buys, everyone buys the best guns, shields, and abilities. If you have what is called a broken economy, you could end up in this perpetual cycle of saving when your teammates full buying when your teammates save, or constantly forcing every round. Sometimes this is unavoidable if your teammate decides to force every round, so in this case you can either ask them to buy with the team and hope they listen, or try your best to find a middle ground by buying when they do, force when they do, etc. There will always be exceptions and different variables to consider when it comes to economy. This can apply to specific agents like Jet and Chamber, where your ult is its own weapon. Here, you can pseudo full buy by purchasing heavy shield and all your abilities, but leave out the weapon since you have an ult. The benefit here is that it saves 2,900 or more credits, so you can full buy next round. There are more advanced forms of economic strategy that you'll see at the pro level or highest ranks, but these typically happen when the team is very confident in their ability to win at a disadvantage. If you want to learn more advanced economy strategies, you can check out a great video by Thinking Man's Valorant that I'll link in the description. Now that we understand what the economy is and how it functions, let's look at some possible economy paths you and your team could take throughout the game. Path 1. You win pistol and then anti-eco, which remember is buying guns when the other team is presumably saving. Then you bonus the following round and then full buy the 4th round. Path 1A. You win pistol, you anti-eco and win, but die during the round. Then you light buy so that you have enough credits for the full buy next round. Path 1B, you win pistol, you anti-eco and lose, so now you have to save and then full buy the 4th round. Path 2, you lose pistol, you save, and then you full buy. Path 2A, you lose pistol, you force, similar to an anti-eco. The 3rd round, you anti-eco. So you want to keep your guns from the last round or buy for next since the other team is forced to save this round. On the 4th round, you full buy. Path 2B. You lose pistol, you force, and then lose again, and now you have to save your 3rd round and then full buy your 4th round. On the last round in the half, you always full buy since you're resetting next half. In overtime, everyone gets 5,000, so always full buy. Now let's go over some economy strategy. Pressing tab allows you to see valuable info like how close the enemy is to ults, who's top frag, and most importantly, how much money each team has. You can use this information to determine what guns your enemy might be buying. Expect a full buy if they have 4,500 or more across the board. If they have less than like 3,900, maybe some have 36 or 2,800, they will either be forcing or saving by getting light shield and phantom or specter with heavy shields, for example. If the enemy is expected to have a light or eco buy based on their credits, be aware of fighting in close quarters as they may be playing to the strengths of their weapons and try to bait you into these close range areas like U-Haul on Bind. You want to keep the enemy at arm's length by using your utility to clear these areas and keep your fights at medium to long range when possible. There are nuances to the Valorant economy, but it does not have to be as complicated as it may seem. The more you play, the more the economy will become easier to understand. Remember that you're playing a team game and should make buying decisions as a team. Hopefully this guide made the economy's inner workings a little bit easier to understand. If you enjoyed your stay, leave a like and consider subscribing for more Valorant guides. Feeling another one? I got you covered. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.